How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Happy Monday. It's the big thing live. That's right. We got a lot to talk about today. As you saw in the title, we're going to talk about the Acolyte, and I've seen the first 2 episodes. I don't know how many John has seen, if you've seen them yet or not, but we'll see. But the reactions in general are out there, and we'll discuss about, is it hype? Is it real? We'll talk about all that stuff. We'll talk about how we got to continue. I know that it's getting old, and trust me, I feel the same. But when it comes to the box office and what the hell's going on, Furiosa ate it again this week. It's going to be on video demand probably next week. Not really, but close enough. There's a big thing that happened with Paramount and Skydance, that merger. We'll talk about that. One Piece show I really liked. Apparently season 2 and 3 are going to be filming together. I think that's a smart move, but we'll see if anybody feels different. There's other news out there that we'll tap into. The Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight seems to be not happening right now because of Tyson's health. So who's going to step in, if anybody? Maybe we'll talk about that. I don't know. But we will get to your questions. We'll absolutely get to your questions. If you're brand new to the channel, you've never been here before, subscribe to it. Getting close to 150. We hope that we can get there soon. If you're into the UAP phenomenon, guess what? Just hit 25,000 over there. So we're hoping to keep building. A few great announcements. I had my last LA comedy show, at least for a long time, the other day at the Comedy Store. It was a lot of fun. And I just announced, I was asked by Dan Murrell. He's going to be in New York, and he and I are going to do a show together in New York on June 21st. So I actually pinned it in the top chat here. If you're in New York and you want to come see us, they just put them on sale, and apparently doing live streaming too. I didn't know that, so people will be able to see that live stream. So if you want to get that, check it out. Okay, so that's it. That's between me and Rocha. We're gonna talk about a lot of stuff. So get your questions out there now. I already see them pouring in. It's a big thing. It's me and John. Here we go. I'm not gonna get the song right. I know it. Got it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It is the big thing. It's myself, John Rocha. What's up, John? How you doing? Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. You're good.
You How's it going?
Good. Man. How was the weekend?
The weekend was good. Recovering from the trip to Mexico. Was in Puerto Vallarta for a week there at the Vedanta Resorts. Really highly recommend it if you get a chance to go to Puerto Vallarta. That's where you want to stay. And so, but it was exhausting, dude. Like a lot of sun. It's hot down there. We did a lot of things every day, and so I spent the last 2 days basically
for you.
Yeah, well, it's my first one in 4 years since I went to England, which people know about.
I'm exhausted, you said. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm moving across country with 2 kids and a dog.
Okay, fair point. And now you're back in LA, so you know.
I know. Well, we didn't. Well, we haven't left yet. We're leaving soon, but we're just packing up, getting ready for everything. We had the show at the Comedy Store the other day.
Yeah, I want to hear about that. I sadly I would have totally driven up for that. You know that, but I was in Mexico.
No, it's cool. It's cool. It was good, man. We had I've been talking about Rick Ingram forever, and he went up and just brought the house down.
Rick is hilarious.
My favorite comedian of all time. He really is. Nice. He's just so good. Eliza Schlesinger came in and did a spot. It was great. So it was great to catch up with Eliza. Her and I got to talk to her for a while in the green room because we started together and we talked for a while and it was good to catch up with her. So she did a set. Ellis, of course, was the best. He hosted the show, and he's just so good. We had a bunch of Comedy Store people who went up there and did some time, and Winston and my friend Martini, who had essentially kind of created the schmoes. She went up the show, and Justine Marino. So it was good. And I went up doing like 20-25 minutes at the end, which was awesome. And there's a lot of people there that I caught up with afterwards, people that didn't make it into the show because we sold out pretty quick. They came in. Wow. They came in. We were hanging out at the bar for a while, so I knew that I was going to catch some slack from the wife from being out, but I didn't mind it. Didn't mind it. You know what I did though?
What's that?
And they're not even a sponsor on today's show, but I took Z-Biotics, and it worked wonders. I'll tell you that it worked wonders. I knew people were going to be buying me beers and stuff, and I was like, Yeah, but it was great. I was able to function the next day, help out with the move, so it worked out.
Yeah, I saw some of the pictures. Dennis Zen took pictures with you. I heard Janine the Machine was there. That was
She
nice.
drove there, man. That was really,
Yeah.
really nice. She drove.
Yeah.
Kaiser was there. I mean, there were
Kaiser,
you know, Makuga actually came in.
Mm.
He wasn't at the show itself, but he was at the bar, and I wasn't expecting to see him, so he was there. Ash Crossan, Jermaine Lucier. There's so real rejects. There were so many people there that I'm probably leave some people out. But it was great. Like Pavel, who does the Down to Earth with me, came in from Mexico to come see it. So it was cool. There was a lot of great people. And then I announced, I know Dan had mentioned it on his channel, but I was able to finally announce I'm doing my first show in New York. He's gonna be in there in New York, and they asked me to do the show with him. It's basically gonna be talking about the box office, which I guess we can kind of transition from this to that, but like just about how in general what the box office has been so far, how May was like the worst box office like in I think film history or close to it, and can it come back? So we'll be talking about that stuff on the show, and we need to catch up with Dan. I haven't seen him in a while.
Nice, man. Nice. Big Danny boy.
Yeah, so let's get into let's talk about some news here. The first, you know what, we can start with this because I know we both just did our reactions here. So we just did our reactions, the two of us, to Venom 3, The Last Dance came out, and as I said, I in my trailer reaction, I prefaced it with letting people know that the first one and the second one weren't really for me. I know that they did the old school kind of 90s vibe and whatnot, and I just, I don't know, it got corny for me, and even more corny in the second one. Even though Andy Serkis was directing the second one, I was excited for it. But what I will say is this tone is consistent with the other two. If you like those two movies, I feel like you're going to be excited about this one. But it looked to me, it's just like kind of I whatever.
Well, I feel like I've come out of this a little bit more enjoying the trailer. I liked it. I thought it had a nice vibe. I like the scope of it. I know I would never normally advocate for this, but moving Michelle Williams out of it, I think, was a smart move because I never really bought the romance between them. I feel like she was above this stuff. I don't know what she was doing there. And Juno Temple, I like it as a nice addition. Why is Kirk Connors why is Reese Ifans in the trailer? What does that mean? A lot of people speculate the young kid in the van with him might be Peter Parker. Stephen Graham might be turning into Toxin in this one. And so there's a number of things in the trailer that I thought were fun to look at. And look, it's the woman who wrote the second one, Kelly Marcel. She co-wrote and directed this one with Tom Hardy. So I hope it's a final send-off. I hope it's a good one if it's a final send-off for Tom, because I'm with you, man. I haven't liked those first two Venom films, but I've liked him as Eddie Brock in Venom.
He's passionate about it. He clearly wants to play the role.
I mean, 3 times?
Right.
And Tom is notoriously picky about his shit. So
he likes it.
He came back to do it 3 times. Tells you he enjoyed it. Yeah,
he likes it, and I think that comes across when he's playing it for sure. Totally. And I just saw him. I can't really talk about it too much because I only did my social reaction for like the bike riders. Which what I will say with him though is that he's doing in every movie he's doing now. He does something with his voice. He's always moving stuff with his voice, and he does that in this trailer too. But I think that can lead us into actually, because we're talking about social reactions and we're talking about what we cannot say. Let's just get into the main topic.
Sure.
And it's not that one. Where is it? Oh, that's not it either.
You were close.
Perfect.
Okay.
So The Acolyte.
Yes.
This is a show that has been talked about at great lengths for the positive, the negative, whatever it might be. It's also the idea that this is the first time period that's not playing in the Skywalker era.
Yeah.
And we finally got that. And so did you get a chance? Did you see the first 4 episodes?
I've recorded my reaction for the first 2.
Same.
It will be up on my channel later this week, but over the first one, I guess. But no, I guess the first 2 because it's dropping the first 2. But yeah, I did get a chance to watch them.
Good, because I saw the first 2, and to me, because everyone was putting their reactions out on the first 4, and I never understand when people are doing that because the first 2 are the only ones that are going to be coming out. I think on the 4th. So I'm waiting. I'm gonna record all 4 of them, but record them at a time. But I guess I haven't even done normally what I will do for this season is I'm gonna do after I watch each one. I'm gonna do my immediate reaction, put it up, do do the spoiler review and then actually then put my full reaction of it out there.
Yeah.
I'm just not on board with everybody else. I saw everybody else loving it. I
Really?
think, yeah, I think that the
Okay.
show, it's not terrible by any means,
Right.
and I'm interested in it. I'm interested to find out where it goes.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think that I feel like there's a little bit of CW with it, and I feel like there's kind of this thing where it's not as I'm just not. I don't know. I sometimes I was worried about people playing dress up,
Yeah.
and it feels like there's some people playing dress up, but there's also some good. What I will say is that what I was worried about wasn't there with they're building on character.
Yep.
Good.
Which I
And
liked.
and I am invested in the detective story side of it.
Mhm.
I want to see where it goes. So,
Yeah.
but but I'm but I wasn't there are some characters making really stupid decisions though in some of these episodes. And I'm like, come on, what are we doing here? But
Yeah.
for the most part, I'm interested. I think that I'm interested, and I don't think it's a bad show. But I'm not. Everyone else was losing their minds for it. I'm like, yeah, I'm not losing my mind. I guess because I'm a hater now. So, but yeah. So I don't know. But what were your initial your first kind of social thoughts?
Well, to to go on the other side of it, to be called a shill or whatever, I did like it, and I hear you though. I do, because we're older, dude. Those beats, those CW-ish type beats, are gonna hit us differently, right? Because we're just not at that age, and we have to put that in context when we're looking at these things. Like, is a 15-year-old or a 20-year-old, which is who they want to retain to be their audience for the next few decades, are they going to like these beats?
Yeah.
And so I kind of have to overlook that in certain moments because I want to look at the overall story. And I do like the overall story. I do think the detective stuff needs to be a bit more stronger in how it's being laid out.
Yeah.
But again, we haven't seen 3 and 4. I haven't seen 3
Right.
and 4.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
I haven't either.
So maybe that'll be a little more hammered out. But
Yeah.
I like the characterizations. I like the focus they have, as you said, on the character. I like the costuming. I like the sets,
The
design.
sound, the money. It's cost 170 million dollars. The money is there. The
money's there.
The music is really good, and the sound is good. And I think that the dude from Squid Game, right?
Yeah.
He's the best part of the whole show.
100%.
He's the best part.
100%.
He's the best part. But
which is why you cast a guy like that, because you want it to be like this foundational part of it. Yeah.
There's some predictable stuff, like right away you kind of know what's happening.
Right.
But I think that, you know what it is also, I was thinking about this today because I knew we were going to be talking about it. I was like, if this was a show that was like an original show that, you know, you moved some things around and didn't make them Jedi and made it like something else or whatever it might be, and it maybe would have felt better. I just wonder now if, like, and this is fine, and this is not a matter of like the ideas and the things that I kind of really fell in love with Star Wars. It just doesn't feel like that for me, which is, and it very well could feel like that for someone else who loves it.
Right.
But I was like, minus like, okay, yeah, they're wearing Jedi robes and they're doing this and there's this and even in there's you know, as you saw with fight scenes and those kind of things, it just feels different.
Yeah.
So, but that's really all we can say until we can get a full-on kind of review embargo on it. But like, but by no means, I think the writing is significantly better than some of these other shows
I will agree
that I've been on. And as I said, when I turn it off, I don't say, all right, now I gotta watch another one. It's oh no, where's this going?
Yeah,
where's it going? I'm interested in that, and I'm just, but I can't start being, this is amazing. I don't think it's amazing. I think it's
that's fair. That's totally fair. Yeah, I'm hoping, I liked it, but I want to like it more. So if what they've laid in the first 2 episodes gets fleshed out a little bit more in 3 and 4, and some of these other elements, and that twist gets,
come on.
Yeah,
come on.
I know. Gets a little more hammered out, then I'll be in.
Yeah, I mean that's what when we can dive into like more spoilers and things like too, like that's where, because we will be doing a spoiler heavy episode. I'm going to probably be doing it live with Steph and Mike, because I'm going to see, I have 2 screenings this week. I'm going, are you seeing Bad Boys
tonight? Bad Boys, yeah. I got invited to an Ahsoka influencer event where I could like learn how to sword a fight with the lightsaber and stuff, but I'm skipping out on that because I want to see Bad Boys. I
Yeah,
want
and it's more relevant to what we're doing right now
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly.
So yeah, and then Wednesday is a screening for The Watchers.
Oh, nice, dude.
Seeing that on, but so I'm going to see that in the morning.
Right.
So because of that, normally Mike and Steph shoot our show in the morning. So I was like, you know what, why don't we just do a live stream together on Wednesday? So the three of us are going to do like a live
Nice.
spoiler on that, and that's it. So
Yeah.
I do. I mean, I'm very curious to see in general how people are going to respond, because there's going to be predictable responses,
Mm.
and then there's going to be
Yeah.
I'm very curious on I'll tell you the ones that I'm really curious on, because I'll give you the predictable responses.
Please.
The predictable ones are some of the responses that have already come out through social media. People who went to the events and people who saw it, they loved it. Of course, they're going to love it. And so I can't, as much, and I believe that they love it.
Sure.
But I'm not going to take merit into a lot of it, because it's like, well, that's just, they watch it differently, have different expectations of what they're looking for. So, and I'm not going to buy a lot of the stuff that, oh, I love it because of this, this, and this. And I'm like, yeah, but you're not looking at the same stuff that I am, so I'm not listening to you. And then the other predictable side is it are people who make all the hate videos and hate everything, and they haven't even seen it. They hate it. They hate the movie. They hate the show. We know. You hate it. It's woke.
Make your money. Make your money.
We know. So people that I want to see are the people who are kind of more so like myself, who are curious, kind of going into it, going, all right, well, let's see. And then I want to see what they think of the actual story. And then I want to see what they like. People, I want it like a more casual person who's like, I see people in here that were saying, like, I don't know, I've been kind of iffy on the shows lately. I want to see what they think. The people in this chat, I want to see what you think. You're the ones that to me are more relevant than the ultra lovers and the ultra haters. Like that to me is very more of like, okay, look, is this hitting? And if you don't care about Star Wars, is it hitting? And I think that's the one thing, though, that this show might have going for it, is that it might, if they can get people to tune in who aren't hardcore fans, you might, like you were saying earlier, you might be able to get new people on board, because it doesn't, that's like I said, it doesn't have to, this doesn't have to be Star Wars. Like it doesn't have to.
Right. Exactly. And I think that's what they realized, and that's why they're doing so many different flavors, because Kristian, you and I know this, there are people who did not like Andor. And just because it was not their kind of Star Wars, not their flavor, not their taste. And just as many videos could have been done being like, what are they doing? Why are they going in this direction? I don't feel the magic. And so I like that Disney is taking a chance with all these different types of flavors. Do they all work? No. And certainly there are a number of videos that will tell you that none of them work or all of them work. But I think in the middle is where we need to be on this, which is that there's been some stuff that has not fully hit the mark. Although within that stuff, there have been some cool scenes, some great characterization, some nice acting, but it hasn't overall delivered in the way that you were hoping it would deliver. And so, but they're taking a chance to try to do different flavors so they can attract as many people as possible back into the Star Wars fold, So
I know, it's just that I think that I'm so now as I think I'm just spoiled on Andor now.
I know, dude.
I really do think I'm spoiled on Andor. Like,
and there are elements of that in here. It's not as strongly laid out.
It's like you said, it is better written. It's way better written than Ahsoka. It's way better written than Obi-Wan. It's way better written than Boba Fett. It's better written. There's no doubt about it.
I think it's better directed too. I think Leslie does a nice job with the direction.
Yeah, there's so much I want to say that I can't say it, but there's things that I like. I think that I'm just hammering down that I really do feel, and that obviously she loves Star Wars and she wants to do a Star Wars show. But I at one point I was going, this doesn't have to be Star Wars. This could if they wanted, this could have been
what your point is.
This could have been a brand new, like what Zack Snyder was trying to do with Rebel Moon. This could have been something like that, because this doesn't have to be Star Wars. It really doesn't. And I wonder if I'd like it more if it wasn't Star Wars.
Yeah, that's a good point. You don't bring
there's a lot of times, even from like fight sequences, things I'm like, I don't know if I'm. There's one character that I will say sucks. There's one character who sucks, and I was like screaming at the thing. You'll see it in my reaction. I'm like, come on, this person keeps making the wrong choice. Like, stop talking. Come on, not acting, just the character.
Right.
Anyway, but I am very curious to see how the reactions go from the people, like the people in this chat room, people who are, again, not the ultra lovers, not the ultra haters. I want to see the people who are just want to watch good television and go, if it's good, I'll like it. If it sucks, I'm going to tell you it sucks.
Yeah.
Like that to me is who I'm. It's so funny. It's almost like with politics now, John.
Oh, here we go.
No, I'm telling you, we don't go too much into politics, but I'm telling you this, it's where I'm starting to land. It's like you got your ultra left, you got your ultra right, and I'm just like, get out of my face. I'm like, just like, what's the issue? Okay, if you think on that side that's interesting, then I'm going to side with you. But if you don't agree with that and you think that that's interesting, that's more so where I am. So I'm going to land right here. That's kind of how I feel with a lot of this shit when it comes to entertainment now. It's
there needs to be a rebirth of the middle. There needs to be a rebirth of the middle that takes over the discourse and everything. Exactly. I 100% agree with you. And there needs to be a rebirth.
Yeah, it's like, look, I got no problem with someone watching the show and go, I love it. I thought it was going to be terrible. I love it. And then I have no problem with somebody going, look, I gave this a shot, but everything I was worried about this thing stinks. Like I watched the first 2 episodes and I'm like, I called Matt Serra. I go, you're going to hate this. I knew it. And Matt Serra is not a guy who is just like, he's not an ultra hater.
He's not preconditioned to hate it already.
No, and he will say, look, I thought it was going to say, call me about Madam Web. He goes, look, it was terrible, but I enjoyed watching it. I was like, yes, because you watched it on Netflix. You didn't have to pay money to see it in the theater.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so but I know like he's not going to like the show. And maybe I'm wrong, but he's not going to like it. But I want to hear someone like his thoughts, because if he does like it, he'll be, look, I wound up really digging it. This is what I like. This is what I didn't like. Those are the people I want to hear from right now.
Yeah.
And not just on Star Wars, on everything. I wish that the ultra lovers and the ultra haters would just go away. Yeah. And I wish that the people in like that would just want to watch stuff and go, I like it, I dislike it. And not because here's what I realized even when I was saying this, like I've talked about being, using it as like a sports fan. And saying that right now my team is if it's the Yankees, and if Star Wars is the Yankees right now, I'm just like, they're just not playing well right now. Right. And I say that I'm rooting for them to get back until I can start rooting for them, going, oh yeah, they're in first place again, this winning championship. But the ultra lovers turn to the side and go, oh well, you're a hater now. You're a hater on Star Wars. Because I was doing something with my the back wall for the New York studio. And I was asking for a bunch of suggestions. People were like, well, how could you not want to put Star Wars back there? It's what you made your career on. I was like, because I don't want to do a whole bunch of Star Wars shit. I want to have a bunch of other things that I like back there too. And I'll have Luke and Darth Vader from Empire Strikes Back doing the battle. But I was like, plus the fact that I don't want my whole entire community thing to just be put Yoda taking a shit on the toilet. It's like so other things, but it's like I don't want to be called a hater, because I don't love it as much as you do now. I don't want to be called a shill because because I thought that scene was good. And it's like, that's why I wish that the people in the middle would take over, but it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, unfortunately, the middle doesn't attract the same kind of attention, unfortunately. And I'm with you. Like both sides, yes, move aside, let the middle take over again, and let's have honest conversation. And this is the thing that I think is frustrating too, is because like the middle is where the conversations actually happen. The ones that ultra hate it, the ones that ultra like it, they're not invested in people with different opinions coming on and having a rational, logical conversation where you might concede a point or two, where you might see where they're coming from and have rational, honest, fun conversations where you may not agree, but by the end, you've at least all said your points. You've been understood from both sides or all sides, and then you move on and have fun. And unfortunately, that is not what goes on either side, because neither one of them are invested in having that, because that affects their overall ability to keep people in a certain state of mind, to keep watching their shit and donating to them. And let me tell you, I had my own example of this weekend. I've become a big Caitlin Clark fan, and everyone knows, I've gone on and defended, people of color, black people in certain situations, certainly where I think there might be some racism or the need for representation, all of that kind of stuff. Well, I had people coming after me because I called out a couple of things where a couple of these female black ball players were going out a little harder on Caitlin Clark, cheap-shotting her from behind, smacking her across the head unnecessarily, and it crossed a few lines for me. And what I sensed here is that there's an anger here from some of the female black ball players at this white ball player who's taking all this attention away from their league, and they're resentful of it. And it's coming through in these moments. And people started calling me racist. And I was like, what? You're calling me?
Right. That's what I'm telling you. That's why I tried to do. That's why I tried to tell you there is no winning in what you try to do on Twitter. There is no winning, because no matter what you do, no matter how many fights you fight for one particular side, you say one thing against one part of the side, and they'll come after you and say you're not on their side. It's the basis of what Twitter is. It's just what it is. It's like you can a million times over, if you say, you can be like, I've done this, this, and this. You say one thing and then use it as an example to come after you in the same way that, like, for years, and in the more simple side of it, going back to this, when it comes to like Star Wars, for years and years and years, it's like there's been so many things I've been so positive about in this, and been, you know, whatever the name's called, but because I'm right now not into it, like I've got like the balls on some of these people on the ultra lover side of it to go, oh well, you hate Star Wars now, you don't like Star Wars now, you all it is you just saying you hate it. I'm like, no, it's me saying I'm just not satisfied with what I'm watching now. But I never once, and that's the difference between people who are on the ultra love, ultra hate side, I never once tell you ever that you shouldn't like it.
Right.
Like it's like, if you
I'm in that mode too. If
you're in the ultra love mode, great. But and the same thing, like I've had people like, oh well, if you didn't like this one, it's clearly because you don't want to see people in color in the lead. I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? It's like, that's nothing what I'm talking about. And I'll get that on my reactions. I'm guaranteeing you'll get my reactions, but it's like nothing to do with that. It's the fact that when I'm watching these particular shows, I'm saying, yeah, just it's not. I wanted to love this show in the same way. Like I can say this, you know, without giving too much of a review away. Bike Riders. I wanted to love that movie. I wanted to love it, and I thought if Jeff Nichols was taking a shot at Goodfellas, and it was fine. It just wasn't great. And like, you know, am I a Jeff Nichols hater now because I didn't like that? You know what I mean? It's like nobody does that. It's just like they, for some silly reason, both of these sides take this IP. And they use it like it's like someone's coming after their childhood if you don't like it, or someone's coming after their childhood if you do like it, you know, because you're not representing. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you doing?
This is, I mean, a few weeks ago when people came after me for the rant I made, it was because I was saying, relax, like we're all gonna live. It's going to be fine. Like, okay, so someone does something, they went a certain direction. You know what? Star Wars is going to survive because Star Wars has always survived. Any franchise, they're going to survive. People are down on Furiosa, and I know we're going to get to the box office stuff. There's no reason George Miller shouldn't do another Mad Max movie. And the fact that people are like, this is the end. Oh my God, why did they do this movie? Now we're never going to get another Mad Max film is nonsense. It's absolute nonsense.
I know.
We survived all these things, man.
I've seen a few different, you know, like back in
terrible Terminator films we've had, for fuck's sake.
I know. And it's like, look, I don't mind. This is also why I just dislike Twitter, because I've seen so many people on Twitter, like friends, really good friends, that sometimes when they tweet, I'm just like, God, I disagree with every time you tweet anything. Like, and like very, very good people that I really, really like will tweet something, and I go, every time you tweet something, I disagree with every word that comes out of it. Every time. And it's like, what I don't do is battle them on Twitter. You know what I mean? Anyway, so it's interesting to see. Like I mean, it is more predictable than the twist in the first episode. It is so predictable that what will happen is that you will have both the ultra left and ultra hate, or ultra love and ultra hate, going after each other. Whenever this is on Wednesday. And so what I'm going to try to do is sift through it, because I've been lucky enough on this freaking channel that we've got people who are just here to watch entertainment, and they'll give you like their pure thoughts on it. That's what I'm looking forward to. So come to the episodes, guys, when you're watching the reactions or anything, and put your thoughts on it. I ain't going to judge you if you hate it. I ain't going to judge you if you love it. I just want to hear what you think. So put your comments in once we're ready to do that. What I will say is that, you know, I mentioned, John, my my set that I had, and RB3 took a great picture the other day, and I was getting a lot of compliments about, you know, I lost about 19 pounds. And so I was getting compliments on it, but I'll tell you what I did, and I did this on purpose. Before I left, I put on a Mack Weldon t-shirt, I put on a Mack Weldon pants, and I got compliments all night. on that. I so much so I changed my profile picture on Twitter with it, because I like, and there was the pictures that Roxy took, and I loved it. So I want to tell you about Mack Weldon, and I even have my wife doing the endorsement here on Mack Weldon, and then we followed up with Tushy. Everybody's buying the Tushies now, John. Everybody's buying the Tushies. So let me tell you about Mack Weldon and Tushy. Here you go.
So I love Mack Weldon. I have been obsessed with them. And I'm not even going to tell my wife. I'm going to call my wife right now just to show you guys how much I love Mack Weldon. Here you go. Hey.
Just call me?
I did. So I'm telling the audience about Mack Weldon. I want you to say a few words about what you've noticed so far with me wearing Mack Weldon.
They fit your body really well. Flattering. The materials that they use are high quality. They're well made, not cheap.
See?
They're just really flattering to a man's physique, and especially yours.
Yeah, well, these are classy. This looks classy. It makes you feel good. It's the fit's good. I feel good when I'm wearing them. I get a confidence boost when I'm wearing them, and it's like, it's not flashy, you know. It's just like, it's classic, and it feels like it's always in style.
Yeah, they are. They're classic pieces. They're like staple pieces.
And it's regular. It looks like regular clothes, but they just look better. I mean, like they had that. They gave me some sweatpants. They gave me that polo. Those pants that I really like those pants.
I think it's really great for the casual professional.
Yes.
Who doesn't want to be just, really like ragged jeans and t-shirt, but still kind of casual and comfortable. It's a good for the casual professional.
So
it's not fancy and it's not overdressed, but it's still, you don't want to look like you rolled out of bed.
Yeah, well, there you go. All right, thank you, honey.
Bye.
She had no idea I was going to do that, and that's what she said. So if you guys, you want to get a timeless look with modern comfort from Mack Weldon, you got to go to MackWeldon.com and get 20% off your first order. But you got to use that code BIGTHING. Mack Weldon, MackWeldon.com. Use that promo code BIGTHING. You will thank me. I'm telling you, I love Mack Weldon. I'm going to be shopping at Mack Weldon for a very, 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 very long time. I promise you that.
As we get older, I'll tell you. The bidets, I love the bidets. I wish I got introduced to the bidet a long time ago with Tushy, and it is so what an invention. What an invention. At first you sit down and you want to feel classy. You want to show some class. You show some class by getting the bidet on your. I'm not gonna say it. I could have rhymed, but I didn't. It's lovely. It's absolutely lovely. So let me tell you a little bit about it, because the next time you're sitting down on the toilet to squeeze out a big baseball bat, I'll tell you what happens. Hello Tushy wants you to remember one thing. The time that you're spending scrolling on your phone, it's not giving you peace of mind. You know what it's giving you? Hemorrhoids. That's right. Men spend twice as long in the bathroom. This is fact. I go into that bathroom sometimes for peace, but I wind up sitting trying to get some business done. And it is the one leading cause of hemorrhoids is prolonged sitting on the toilet. That's right. If you wipe with toilet paper, it's only going to irritate your butthole. That's what it's going to do. The Tushy, it cleans your butt with a targeted stream of fresh water, eliminating the need for painful wiping. So I really, really dig it. And it just feels nice. Again, I feel classy. I'm not going to lie to you. I feel classy. That's the whole thing. So Tushy Bidet cleans your butt 2 times better and gentler than wiping with toilet paper. For the rest of your life, you can leave the bathroom sooner feeling confident that your butt's actually clean. The bidet easily attaches to your existing toilet. You know how long it takes? Under 10 minutes. 10 minutes. I was going to say 20. It's not true. It took me about 8 minutes. Without additional plumbing or electricity needed. Every Hello Tushy bidet comes with a 30-day hassle-free return and a 12-month warranty. So stop wiping until you bleed. Come on. Join the 3 million butts who've already made the switch to Tushy. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off your entire order when you use the code BIGTHING at checkout. That's 10% off your order at HELLOTUSHY.com, HelloTushy.com. Promo code BIGTHING. Yeah, man. All right. Thank you to our friends over at Tushy and Mack Weldon. As I mentioned to you each and every time, if you're able to and you can support the show, you want to support the show, then please consider getting yourself something from one of our sponsors. Because John, yeah, man, I told my wife yesterday, I said for Father's Day, for any other tell people, they ask me what I want, like Mack Weldon. I really do think it might be one of my favorite stores. I didn't know about it before the show, and now I think it's one of my favorite stores of all time.
I'm gonna have to try it out.
Yeah, it's legit. Like
I don't have your physique, but maybe it'll help me look a little bit.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Like they have tons of different styles and tons of you really should go on the site to browse around because it's like classy stuff too, man. It makes you feel good. I was like, because I normally don't go on stage. I mean, like I was gonna wear something.
Yeah.
I like this button down shirt, and my wife's like, "Why don't you wear just one of your Mack Weldon t-shirts?" I was like, "Yeah, well, I do like wearing t-shirts, but I want because the whole deal is that I didn't want to look bummy when I was going up there, and it wasn't." So what I also tell the audience too is that what I want to do is, especially with Mack Weldon and Tushy, is that because we have an advertise agency that gets us these things too.
Nice.
And and if the audience doesn't get it, they'll tell you, look, they're not seeing a performance on it and they're bailing on the show. And it's happened before, right? But I really want one of these, like, if not both of these today, like, what the hell happened today? Like everybody was buying bidets and t-shirts and everything too. Like what happened? Like you had a great day today, and then we'll be doing this show for a long time.
Yeah.
All right,
how do I download your wife's voice to be my ways? I'd like her to be my. Just be like, I don't know, turn left. I love your wife's voice. It's hilarious to me the way she was just like in between bites.
In the middle,
great on your physique.
Middle of lunch, she's like, "You call me? What do you need?" And that's why I knew.
It was great, natural. I loved it. It was awesome.
Totally natural. That's because I knew how because that was what I wanted to show the audience. Also, was that it was like it was legit. She kept telling me how much she liked. She won't like that I say this, but it's a crime that she's not on more of your content because she is a unique personality, man. And she would want to be. But like a lot of different reasons I wouldn't want her to be on. I'll tell you that. but either who knows when she comes into the studio in New York, we'll see what happens. All right, we got other stuff, John. We got other stuff that's going on. Let's talk about it because as we mentioned before, let's check this out. Freaking there it is. All right. Box office. This is box office this weekend. May 31st to June 2nd, the Garfield movie was #1 with $14 million in May.
When the summer season.
Summer season, $14 million opening weekend. And then If did another 10. That's actually pretty good for that movie also because it keeps and Garfield. I bet you if I look at Garfield, I bet you Garfield now is about 120 worldwide, right? If not more. Garfield worldwide is 152.
152.
Okay? So not bad for Garfield. It's great. If is at 138.
Yeah.
2 kids movies. Furiosa did 10.8 this week. It just 114, but still 114 considering that the movie cost like 170.
Yeah, 168.
No, 168. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is like 337.
Yeah.
And then The Fall Guy 4.2 million, 157.
But only dropped 30%, so it's got legs. Fall Guy.
It's got legs to try to try to take less of a loss, I guess.
Yes, right, 100%.
But I mean, look, there was so much. You mentioned it earlier, man, with Furiosa. Is that what I'm bummed about? Is that it looks like they're not going to do a Mad Max movie now, too. And I think I liked Furiosa. I lead with that, right?
I loved it.
I really liked it, and I thought the sound was absolutely incredible. I thought she was good in it, and I say that, and I follow it up by saying it was a mistake to do this movie.
Yes, go ahead. Do you want to say your point now?
Yeah, I think it would have. I think what they should have done, is hired Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy to 100%. Do a continuation together because trying to reset with a new actress as this character that was essentially the secondary character in the Mad Max movie, even though she was her story. Right. It's a lot to ask of the audience.
Yeah.
And if Tom Hardy and Mad Max isn't in it at a 170, it was a mistake.
Yeah. I think you're 100% right. So I'm looking up Anya Taylor-Joy right now, right? I mean, where is the big hit for Anya Taylor-Joy? And it isn't here. She is a incredible actress, beautiful, like the day is long.
Not a movie star.
Phenomenal talent, possibly not a movie star. Queen's Gambit, great stuff, but that's a Netflix series. Yeah. Emma was a nice film, but it didn't break any box office records. Last Night in Soho, The Northman, The Menu, Amsterdam, of course, Super Mario, but that's more Super Mario, and an uncredited small part in Dune Part 2. So there's nothing here that says to me, box office star that you should hang your franchise on, other than her talent. So I get it. They took a chance. But I think this shows that there wasn't enough interest in seeing her play a younger version of Charlize, and that Charlize has essentially become this massive figure in the Mad Max franchise for a lot of the Mad Max fans. And that is tough to do in something that was owned by Mad Max, the original Mel Gibson character, and then Tom Hardy coming in. Unfortunately, their issues working with each other, which George Miller talked about and they've talked about in numerous interviews, might have stopped them from going forward and doing a film with them together, unfortunately, because I agree with you. That was the way forward. They're both badasses, both of them working together in some new adventure, some new thing. That would have been fun to see. I love Anya Taylor-Joy to pieces. So what I say is not a negative against her.
I think you're right. It was one of the conversations I had.
Yeah.
I had this. Roxy had it with one of our patrons.
She's only in half the movie too. Sorry. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. No. She's in it a fair amount. She doesn't say a lot, but she's in it. The
young girl does a really great job.
You're right. You're right though. The young girl in the beginning is absolutely does a lot. But it's the same broken record conversation, John. It's that in what world does Warner Brothers say it makes sense to make $170 million Furiosa prequel when the 2015 movie did good, not great?
Yeah.
And that was in a time when the box office was thriving all over the place.
Right.
Like it's just the studio sign-offs on some of this stuff. It's like they don't understand and to be fair, who really does understand how all this stuff is working right now? But I think that you're going to get, as much as these failures keep happening, it's like they can't keep greenlighting these things at 100. Some of these movies at $120 million, $150 million. Like Fall Guy should have cost $60 million.
Yeah,
and like how figure it out. You know what I mean?
Figure it out. It's
like 60. Here's $60 million. 60. We need 120. Go to a different studio. Nobody knows who the Fall Guy is. Nobody knows what that is.
Yeah. And listen, and I don't want to be unfair and not also come after Hemsworth. Hemsworth's track record outside Marvel is not that strong either. So the fact that his performance as the villain wasn't enough, this good-looking, beautiful Australian hunk of a man still wasn't enough to get people into the theaters when he is like the main villain of the movie. That also speaks volumes to his drawing power that isn't as strong outside of the Marvel universe, in my opinion. So, I mean, if you could name a hit that he led,
It's not that. But I push back on that in general.
Okay.
Name me actors nowadays that because of their name alone gets people into the theater. It doesn't happen.
Well, I'm saying to you, in a way, when you look at these things, if a franchise that is built in the way that it is in Mad Max, so that should have been enough to get people into the theaters.
Just him?
If that isn't enough, then you look at the actors and go, what was the combination here that didn't work? And it feels like, to me, the combination of these actors with this franchise wasn't enough to get people into the theater. And so who am I going to blame? Am I going to blame the franchise that has a track record of being successful, or the two actors that don't necessarily outside?
I can't blame them though, because the same argument can be made. Even though that Fury Road didn't make like a lot of money, it did better than this, right?
Right.
But is it because it was Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron, or was it because Mad Max was in a Mad Max movie?
Well, I mean, look, it was 30 years later, right?
I know.
How do we get them into the theater? And you're going in a new direction. I think the Hardy Theron combo worked in their approach.
It helped. It certainly helped. There's no doubt about it. I just think that it depends on how it's kind of placed in there. That like there are certain times when movie stars elevate it, and then there's other times where when you're trying to inflate your budget when you put too much star power in it, and it kills. Look at that movie Wolves is an example. It's Brad Pitt and George Clooney. They probably took big, huge cuts in their overall they probably both produced the movie, so they're probably going to make money that way. It's got John Watts directing. Then outside of that, Amy Ryan, great actress. Not going to cost a lot of money.
Nope.
There's no one in that movie that costs money. There's no one in the movie that costs money.
Right.
And so if they lose money on it and it goes to streaming, I mean, how much did that movie really cost to make? $40 million, $50 million? And I understand that's a much smaller movie than a Mad Max movie is, right? But in the same way that, like, I think that you and I have been beating the drum of like, look, I think they're doing an A24 RoboCop. I think something like that, but like an A24 smaller $30 million Terminator movie, $40 million Terminator movie, right? Stay away from the $200, $300 million movies.
Right.
That to me, because it is too hard now. It is too hard to get people into the movie theater.
Well, and I think that's where it goes to next, right? Because Chris, you know, I look at everything as connected. I never look at anything in a vacuum. Everything is connected.
Yeah.
And to me, and I think you feel that way too. And the thing is, these overpriced budgets on these films, guess who those costs bleed down to? It is the consumer. That's why the price of movie tickets are so high, is because studios are spending more, making less. The ramifications of COVID and all of that, the theater owners have to stay alive, so they have to charge a certain amount just to be able to be open, so they can screen these movies in those multiple formats in all those screens. And so they have to charge a certain amount of money in order to stay alive. But it's all like everything else in this world outside of the movie theater. It is always all passed down to the consumer. We're paying more for groceries, we're paying more for gas, we're paying more for all these things. Why? Because certain people at the top need to have their 7 houses and 40 cars and make their millions of dollars way past what they should be making, or they're spending too much money on all these projects, and the company has to make the money up somewhere. Well, how do we do that? Let's squeeze the little guy or the little woman. And that's how it is going nowadays, and the theaters are the same way, and it's so frustrating, man. The studios have to stop this shit once and for all, and these contractors have to stop overcharging for their shit as well.
Well, but dude, they're going to be forced to now, though. That's the thing, is you can't keep bleeding money like this and keep greenlighting these things, because I do think that it, you know, if you and I are making movies and someone says to you, hey, you've got to make this movie for $40 million, and or when you're making a $40 million movie, and in terms of a big blockbuster, it's not a lot of money. But if someone says you got to make it for 40, then you're going to find every way to cut corners to make it work, to put together your story, to figure it out. The good directors and good producers are going to go, all right, how do we use that 40 million the best that we can? Who can we hire? Well, that person costs too much. Okay, fine. Here's the 40. Here's what it is. But the same, if you give a director and you go, now you got 200. All right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I know I'm going to, you know what? We've got it. Throw it over there. We
I'm
got
yeah.
Throw that there. What? Oh, so and so wants lobster on the plane. Sure, put that on there. We got it. And it's like you don't penny pinch as much. And I think penny pinching is what really causes great filmmaking.
I agree. I mean, you always bring up Godzilla -1.
Yeah.
I think a more domestic example is The Creator. $80 million to make that film look like that. There's no excuse. Any other film should be made for more than 100. If you can make an 80 million film look like that. And if the stars don't want to be in it, fuck you. You don't get paid. Go find something else. Go find something else. I mean, that needs to be true. Like, these actors also need to turn down their quotes a little bit.
Right.
That needs to be a part of this too.
The agent's problem. That's the agent's.
You're right. All this kind of stuff needs to stop. Everybody needs to stop making as much as they're making right now. Turn this down if you want people to come back, because eventually we're not going to need you. And then what are you going to be doing then? You know? And
same thing with Creator. Nobody in that movie was high priced.
Nope. John David Washington, none of those people. Yeah, exactly. Ken Watanabe.
Yeah, none of them. So, and they're all really good actors. I'll tell you the other show that I really love right now, that as I'm thinking about like higher priced talent, I wonder how much the show really costs to make. But Dark Matter, are you watching it on Apple?
Oh no, Dark Matters. I should definitely watch that one. The one with Joel Edgerton, right? Is good.
Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah, Jennifer Connelly.
It's awesome. It's awesome. I love it. I love it. I don't want to tell anybody what it's about, because I feel like you'll know right away after the first episode what it's about.
I saw the trailer, the dual thing going on.
Yeah. So I love it. It's the first show in a while that I'm all caught up on it, waiting for Wednesday for it to drop. I haven't had that in quite a while. But yeah. So anyway, so that's kind of where we are. I see more people putting in the super chats. We're going to get there, I think, in a second here. We're just going to go. I think we're going to do one more. We'll do one or two more stories, but then we'll get to all these questions and keep throwing them in there. We'll be here until you guys are done with them. But let's, yeah.
I do want to say, people saying that Mel Gibson being in the film would have got people in the theater. You're all fucking crazy. No one there's no way people would have been paying hundreds of $1 millions to go see.
No. But what I will say about that is if they wouldn't have done this, but if they would have made a $40 million Mad Max movie with Mel Gibson,
now that's a different conversation.
I
agree with you on that. Totally.
A $40 or $50 million kind of more gritty, raw, old school Mad Max. that
100%.
movie has way more of an opportunity to make a profit than this movie.
100%.
Yeah.
Tell George, this is what you got. Go to Australia. Do it in Australia, but 40.
Putting Mel Gibson in a $170 million movie in 2024 isn't gonna make a lot of. I mean, might make more, a little bit more money, a little bit, but not. But it's not going to give you a profit. Smaller budgets, man. Smaller budgets. All right, let's see. We're gonna move over to another topic here, and I'll see which one. What do we got? Oh yeah, this is a good one. The Paramount and Skydance one. You've heard about this today, right?
Of course, yeah.
All right, so let's talk about this. It was rumored for a while, and they kept talking about it more and more and more, that it was going to happen. So Paramount and Skydance have agreed to merger terms. Paramount and Skydance have reportedly agreed to terms of a merger, according to CNBC. The report indicates a Paramount special committee and David Ellison Skydance, backed by private equity firms Redbird Capital and KKR, has agreed to the terms, with the deal awaiting sign-off from Paramount's controlling shareholder, Shari Redstone. Once again, it will likely be announced in the coming days. It follows weeks of discussion between the two companies and seemingly rejects a competing offer from Sony and Apollo Global Management. Once closed, Skydance and Redbird will own 2/3 of Paramount, with Class B shareholders owning the remaining third of the company. The cost isn't cheap, with the total value of the deal set to be at $8 billion. The deal reportedly will see Redstone receive $2 billion for National Amusements, which owns 77% of Paramount shares. Skydance will also buy out nearly 50% of Class B Paramount shares for $4.5 billion, and Skydance and Redbird will contribute $1.5 billion in cash to Paramount to help reduce the debt. The deal will not require a vote from the shareholders, will be part of the company's annual shareholder meeting taking place on Tuesday. The number is considerably less than the $26 billion that Apollo and Sony were offering, but Redstone favored a deal that would keep Paramount together, which is why it went for Skydance. I think this is the best case scenario, I think. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, keeping them together, I think, is really important. And I understand why they wanted to do that. It also, if down the road you want to sell Paramount overall, it makes it to like another studio like Warner Brothers or whatever, or have them consume Warner Brothers. It makes them more either a viable product to purchase, or gives them the capital to purchase Warner Brothers, which has been a lot of the rumors going around recently as well. So to me, this makes a lot of sense for everybody involved. There's still some sticking points that they're going to need to hammer out with the board and what have you, but this is a good thing. And I wonder what it means for these other franchises, aka the Top Gun franchise, Star Trek franchise for Paramount now. Does this give them a bit more capital to move forward? Does it give them more motivation to start looking at more of these things? There are rumors about a Top Gun series set at the Top Gun school with a bunch of new aviators. So now you look at all this stuff and you go, okay, now there's possibilities here where they could use the capital to look at how to expand their IP and what have you, and make them a more attractive studio for creators and possibly for purchase down the road, or to buy something like Warner Brothers. So yeah, I think it's a smart move.
I just like the fact that it's not getting chopped off, and that and are they going to keep the old lot?
I hope so, because it was supposedly on sale. Yeah,
there was rumors that they were going to get rid of it if Sony bought it and everything too. So I'm glad. I'm glad, because this is historic, and the same to see it go away would be sad, and you know, the ever changing landscape, I guess. But yeah, I mean, look, this to me seems more so of a better deal for the peeps. I think, instead of how if Sony would have gotten it in the way that Disney got Fox, and it's I think more the better. You know what I mean? Yeah,
absolutely. And so, you know, you put the content all together, and we'll see what the end result, and what does it mean for Paramount Plus too, that streaming service, which I personally like, and I hope stays around, but we'll see if this is a good boost for them too when it goes through.
John, breaking news.
Okay.
Twitter is officially allowing porn on the app now.
Hell, what?
Yeah.
What?
It really is turning into the Running Man. Like it really is. It's the Running Man. It's official now. Like people said, someone in the thread said, wasn't it always? It's like, it wasn't. Now you can share it. Now you can do other stuff. Who knows? It really is end of days. You know, what are you gonna do?
Christ, it's Sodom and Gomorrah shit.
So there you go. Now the question is, can all the porn stars and everybody else start getting verified and making money off of it?
Yeah, clearly.
That's probably why they made the move. Is because
Yeah.
you couldn't monetize it before.
Wow.
You start sharing, you start posting stuff, and now you can monetize on it. I mean, that whole that's all that site's going to be now. That site's going to be porn. It's going to be porn.
Oh God.
That's all it's going to be.
No thanks.
So, yeah.
Thanks.
So there you go. All right, and I think you know what, let's start doing questions, because I think
his truck blows up and he's like, all right, let's put porn on my
what happened? What truck?
No, his cyber trucks are blowing up all over the place, and now
is that what
they
happened?
make porn legal to make up the profit. Yeah.
Does he make the self-driving cars too?
Yeah, his company does. The company does. He I think he still has like 15-16% interest in Tesla. He's not the main
Those
guy.
things are everywhere.
Yeah, no, I know 100%.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Like those, I mean, and I don't even think the AI is not even driving them yet.
I went and drove test drove a new Kia Sorento, top of the line.
Yeah.
Because we're looking at a car, and I drove it, the Prestige X or whatever. It has the self-driving feature light, and by that I mean it reads the lanes, and so you can take your hands off the wheel, hit the button, and it senses the lanes in the road. So we drove for like 5 minutes without putting our hands on the wheel, and it kept us in the lane, moved us around, went down and up, all around. It was incredible. And so I like this feature in cars. I don't like it so much in the Tesla because I've heard terrible stories of that.
Yeah.
But maybe the other manufacturers are perfecting it a bit better. So yeah.
Well, but I think those self-driving cars they're not crashing as much as they were, at least out in here, because where I'm going in New York, they were I asked my friends, I'm like, do you guys see those self-driving cars? Like, no, what's that? I was like, oh, you guys haven't seen those yet. And like, no, I haven't. They don't have them. Like I drive my kid to school. I see 3 or 4 of them each, the 10-minute drive. I see them.
Tesla is all over San Diego. It's like Priuses in LA. Teslas are all just in my neighborhood alone. There's like 40 Teslas. It's out of control how much they love them there.
All right, going to the questions here again, you guys. We will be here until the last one is asked. So throw them in now if you want. And here's the first one. Mustafa Agin, thoughts on Zack Snyder reteaming with WB? So what are they doing? They're doing 300. Are they doing a prequel?
Yeah, the animated series or the series. Yeah.
Is it animated?
I thought it was going to be animated. Oh, it's a TV series. Sorry about the TV series.
But is it animated or live action?
No, it's live action. So.
Okay. He should revisit that world. I'd like to see what he does with that world. I would love to challenge him to do a movie or a TV show without slow motion. It's like it's like the thing is, like, so there's so many moments he's got that I'm so invested in, and right in the middle of the moment it turns into slow motion. I'm like, why are we doing that? Why are we doing that?
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What the fuck is Peter Jackson's problem, dude? Like, what's the deal, man? You can't hide away behind the Beatles forever, dude. You've got to come out and do a movie.
He's producing the Gollum movie.
No, but is he directing it? I'm saying he hasn't directed a film since King Kong, right?
True. Maybe is that the last one? I don't know.
I think so. Or did he do the Hobbit? I guess he did the Hobbit movie.
You know, he's going to be heavily involved with that Gollum movie.
Come on, it's been years, man. Get out.
Him and Andy are going to do it kind of together. Come on,
direct something, man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. So next question again from Mustafa. Anticipation for Stuckman's horror movie. Can you interview him around release time? Also, any chances for future collabs with Johns or Flickinger? Listen, as far as it's such an old school crew, all those guys, and we did so many things together when we were first, like 2010 to like 2013. We did tons of stuff together. And I give Stuckman all the props in the world for being able to get that movie off the ground and to be able to get it picked up. And if he's doing press, why not? That'd be great. If that's the case. And it says nothing to do with whether it's him or anybody else. I never have any anticipation for horror movies. So that's just me. I can't wait to see what he does, and I wish him success. And as far as Johns or Flickinger, anytime. It's just a matter of schedules. Yeah. So
I always love running into Johns. It's always a fun time.
Last time I saw him was in Vegas.
Yeah, for a CinemaCon.
Yeah.
He's a whirlwind, that guy.
Yeah, he is. Mike Joyce, it's kind of funny seeing all the people in the comments still asking about why I'm moving, even though he said why multiple times. Well, I mean, look, to be fair, Mike Joyce is like the ultimate supporter, right? He's here in every stream. So Mike's caught up. He knows what's going on. There's some people that sometimes you see like a headline and then you tune in, and then it's the first time you're hearing about it, right? I mean, it just shows you, John, I have no freaking idea how this freaking algorithm
How
works.
can you say that when you have almost 150,000 subscribers? I'm struggling at barely breaking 35, and you're going to tell me you have no idea how the algorithm works? That can't be true.
The last month.
What do I have to aspire to if you don't know?
The last month of a month and a half. And I talked to Greg Alba about this. I was talking to I had Skype calls with a few creators. Everybody has seen their views and everything else dip by like 45-50%, because the way I said this, the way it used to work was you would have, like, if someone liked the John Rocha video, then the next time they tune into the show, your show, or turn on YouTube, it's all started to suggest John Rocha material. Now they suggest channels that are similar to yours.
Yeah.
Right. So what I was like, my UAP channel, we have 25,000 subscribers and the views are pretty consistent. And I think it's because other UFO channels are recommending our channel.
Right.
I posted the video on Friday of me, Roxy, and Brett about why New York. And I did that because we're supposed to release on Thursday. And instead, we released on Friday. And I did that knowing, I'm like, all right, well, this will be the one episode. I just wanted to talk to everybody, and it'll do 5,000 to 7,000 views. And it did like 22,000.
Nice.
And I'm like, yeah, but I was like, why? What was it inside of that had people filtering that around so it went into subscription boxes? Because I'm getting on a phone call with somebody soon to learn a little bit more about it.
Nice.
But anyway, next one here is Serge Sauce. No questions, just showing support. Thank you, Serge. You're the
Nice
man.
crown.
Mike Joyce coming back in. You and Rocha should have a new bet about how long you'll still be getting questions about the move. I know. So I think John will probably be on the same page about that.
Yeah, Kristian will lie about the bet again, like he did with $1 billion.
You know what's so stupid about that is that the beauty of that is you can say that, but literally you can have someone send you the footage to where you can see the bet. So that doesn't work. If you and I were hammered one night at some bar and we both had an idea of what we both said, then that would be fair to say. Like, no, that was after your third shot of Jaeger, and you clearly said this. And I'm like, no. Like, well, I wish we would have recorded it. It was recorded. It is literally recorded. Someone can show you the footage.
I don't know. With AI, I don't trust anything.
Oh, sure. Joey Pedras, in your opinion, what's the best comedy special of all time? Eddie Murphy's Delirious. George Carlin at Carnegie.
Yeah, I'd have to say Eddie Murphy Delirious is definitely in the top 3. I love Delirious because that just got me into stand-up. But I mean, Chris Rock's was it Bigger and Blacker? That's a good one too. Untouchable, man. That's one of the most untouchables. And I would say, for what it's worth, Chappelle's stand-up is one of my favorites for what it's worth. So yeah.
Okay. Mad Sinister McCall. You ever gonna have Johns or Stuckman on?
What's going on?
The go to movie talk is. What franchises would you like crossover on? Well, those guys, I mean, you got to remember, they cover, and especially Stuckman not as much anymore, but he used to cover everything, right? And that's when Schmo was really in our peak. Ellis and I would see 5 to 6 movies a week. We covered everything. And now I don't cover everything. I cover the things that I'm going to go, okay, I can get out to the theater and see that. I think my audience cares about me saying it, because it again will be, I'm very curious on Wednesday. What I'm going to predict, and we'll see. I predict that the Bad Boys Out of the Theater reaction does decent. Yeah. Right. I think the Watchers one is not going to do very well.
Yeah.
But I still want to see the movie, and I'm curious, so I'm gonna do it. In where I know the Deadpool one will do well. I know that there's also reason to do spoiler reviews or other reviews for them, because if you feel like the audience is watching, is reason to do it. But Johns covers everything, man. Johns has been at this for, I mean, now he's been, I think he started after us, but he's been consistent since 2010, I think.
You know what's incredible about Johns is there isn't much, like, there's not a lot of frills or extra stuff or anything. John just turns the red screen on, stands in front of it, does his thing. Whoever edits the video, puts it up, and if it ain't broke. And that's amazing. Everyone's trying to reinvent, and Johns is just completely doing it his way, because it's personality. It's what sells.
I always broke his chops about it. How he never sold an Awesome-tacular shirt is beyond me.
Yeah, that's a great point, actually.
Tom Hanks, is this poor box office a bad omen for next year's stacked lineup? Lots of exciting movies coming out that I'm worried now could suffer. Not necessarily. I do think that there's going to be a lot of movies next year out that you think are going to do really well that don't. But I think because there's so many movies coming out, like big movies and movies that seem like people are going to be interested in, the box office is going to be pretty damn big. It's an idea of like, are people actually going to go back to the movies?
Right. And we have to start adjusting our expectations for movie going, because we've seen the numbers, we've seen people being surveyed and whatever, and the numbers are down. So the people are less interested, and you're making them more available quickly. It's not going to lead to a lot of people going back to the theater. So, but if these are great movies with well-known IPs and franchises, I think that gives them a leg up.
Definitely.
Possibly. So
Marvel has like 4 movies coming out next year.
So we'll see if Blade's probably going to be pushed. So I don't think that's going to be one of the ones next
year. At least 3.
Yeah, at least 3. For sure.
Captain America, Fantastic Four,
and
Thunderbolts, and then with the potential of 4. Mike Joyce, idea for Star Wars show: The Bear with Dexter Jetser. Yeah, you see his shop. Sure. Renee Reyes,
Blue Milk Chef.
What's good about the Acolyte is that there are no expectations. That's true. No characters that we know and love. Timeline is new, so it could work. We shall see. I agree with that. I don't
know if I agree with that, because people have expectations of Sith and Jedi and what they're supposed to do. And I think people are going to come in with those expectations. But other than that,
I mean, lore and things of that, and what Sith can be. Absolutely. There's always going to be some kind, but I think his point is valid when it comes to, Obi-Wan and Vader. People wanted that show. When you have expectations of it, and then you give us a side character, like, come on,
come on.
Like Ahsoka with Rebels and Ezra, there are expectations for it. Last Jedi with Luke, and there are expectations for it. So, I think that's a good point. It's a really good point. Okay, let's see. Darth Vader's burnt asshole.
Hey-o.
The towards, is it the hate or I think the towards the Acolyte?
Maybe the hate. Yeah.
The promise of the show was an exploration of the Sith and how they infiltrate the Republic. Kita Mundi thought extinct. Let the show explain it. They're totally aware of that line. Okay, so the hate towards it. I mean, that's what I was saying before, is that I do think that there are people who are just, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And in the same way that even, like, that's why I talked about the middle before, because then there's no world. There's no, and two on both sides. There's no world that someone who was expecting to just love it, is going to, if they didn't like it. Like, I'll use my good buddy PLD, who's in the chat right now.
Is he? Hey.
PLD says it. He wants to love everything. He just wants to love it. I don't think there is a world, even if PLD was really disappointed and didn't like it, that he would ever say, "Oh, I hated that." I just don't think he has it in him to say it about Star Wars, and that's and God bless his soul for it.
Yeah.
But in the same way that these people who hated all the damn time, that if they loved it, there's no world where they're gonna go, "You guys are kind of like this one a lot." There's no world they're gonna do that, because they lose half their audience.
Yeah, PLD is the same way with wrestling. I mean, he's still trying to defend the Shockmaster and Ronda Rousey. So how PLD.
He doesn't like the Shockmaster.
He doesn't like to say
who in the world is defending the Shockmaster? Oh my god!
Have you seen Haku? You've got to see the clip of Haku seeing the Shockmaster. He had never seen it before.
Oh, really?
On a recent episode of Dark Side of the Ring, they show him the video, like he's like Jordan looking on the iPad. Yeah. He's looking on the iPad watching it. If you've never seen Haku lose it laughing, it is a joyful thing to watch.
I gotta watch it. It's watch it.
Great.
Especially knowing how everybody talks about he's like the toughest guy of all.
Yeah.
But I think that Darth Vader's burnt a-hole is right. That there's a lot there. And if they that's what I said about that line. If they explain that line, I'm good.
Yeah, exactly.
But you have to also, that was the side where, because I saw Frank Janish, who was at the show, by the way, too, the other day,
nice.
On your show, talk about, it's canon, they don't care. Who cares? You can't have that. You can't have that mentality. You can't have the mentality. You have to have the mentality of, okay, this is what they set up. They're going to keep to that, but they'll explain it. I don't know if they're going to explain it. If they don't, I'll be like, wait a minute. What happened there? They just kind of brushed right past that. So, they'll do it in the way that they did, just, I guess, for people who didn't watch Bad Batch, earmuffs. Everyone was talking about how, like, Asajj Ventress.
Right.
Asajj Ventress, like, they're going to explain it. They're going to explain it. They don't explain it at all. She shows up in one episode. She's not in it at all. And they're like, because Filoni doesn't give a shit about the books. He doesn't care about the books at all, because he's not wrong in the fact that most people didn't read it. And a small faction is going to care about it. And so he's like, let those people bitch. Who cares? It's not gonna matter. We'll put her in there. And that's exactly what happened. But it does matter. And especially you're gonna make people buy books and video games off of that and then not stick to it. Like because and PLD, I love you, but he was the first one to defend that. He's like, no, this is what they said. I don't give a shit what they said. And then I watched the episode. She shows up and then she doesn't mention anything about that book. And that book was awesome. And it completely negated that whole book.
What's going on?
Yeah. So he follows it up. Yeah, the hate towards Acolyte super chats. Thank you very much. All right. So I see more of these are coming in. There's way more coming in. So here's the next one. Mad Sinister McCall. My family keeps telling me I talk about movies too much. How dare they? Do you get crap personally being movie fanatics? All my family watches is crap Waltons. No, I don't. I guess because I've been doing this for so long, people know it's what I do. So no.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's lame.
The Lady Outlaw is not the biggest fan of movies, so I can't really talk about movies with her that much. But no, she never gives me crap for liking movies. No,
it's harder to I mean, you do wish like your significant other saying, I'm the same way, as they were like, I see this movie and my wife she goes LIC, which is like I care. Like I care. Sweet, thanks, honey.
She goes TLW, too long, didn't watch. That's what she does.
Epsilon Audio. Hey guys, finally support the show monetarily. Thank you. My question is about X-Men movies, solo movies, the MCU. What characters do you need to have a solo movie? For me, it's got to be Gambit, Rogue, Storm. Well, I think the obvious is Wolverine. Let's see if you're going to set up the new Wolverine. Magneto, I'd like to see have his own movie. And then either Rogue or Storm. I think it'd be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, please don't invoke the name of Gambit. We already did that dance for years with Channing Tatum. It's never going to happen. But certainly Rogue and Storm, and especially Storm. I think because, listen, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I never felt Halle Berry was that great as Storm. I always wanted Angela Bassett. She'd have been awesome.
Yeah.
Storm, we got an X-Men 97, I thought was excellent. So Storm, I think, is the perfect time. And I can't remember the actress who played her in the recent X-Men movies, the young actress. But I think it's time to get a Storm movie with a very strong black actress in her prime to play that character and really bring it to life, and then connect it to Black Panther, which would be fun.
Yeah. Okay. So Carlton Rudder, the great
Hey.
London Calling, we'll watch on replay. Thank you. My 2 pennies worth on Star Wars series is I absolutely adored Andor so much. I read the Rogue One novel after. Yeah, I mean, that show is to me.
Yeah,
that should be what everyone is striving for as far as writing goes.
Yeah.
Not as far as tone and everything. You can't make everything that serious and that dark, but as far as serious, as what you want to be taken serious as a brand, that's what they need to be going for. And I agree with you, John, that there's certainly going for that more in this show than previous shows. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Next one here too. And thank you for everybody who's been donating. And someone said that they just got Mac Weldon. Thank you. So that also
nice.
Okay, love that Mac Weldon is really are you promise me you'll go to that site and browse around?
I'll browse around, but I'm on a budget, buddy. We're about to buy a car. I'm on a budget, but we'll see.
You gotta have a nice shirt while you're driving the car.
Yeah.
Jason Ashcroft, thanks for all you guys do. I'm super excited for Acolyte and the Ray movie. Thanks for keeping my spirits up during a hard breakup. I'm sorry, man. I just went through it. You guys matter more than you know. That's very nice. And I always, I do forget that, and then when people will write stuff and say how much that streams like this and shows that we've done in the past meant a lot to them. I mean, so Dennis or somebody had posted a picture of like an old Collider moment, and they had all these really sweet kind of memories coming back and people responding to them and stuff too. So P Parker 2288, do you think if they brought Gibson back and called it Mad Max, it would have done better? Also, can I get your thoughts on the Northwest controversy? What's the Northwest controversy? I don't even know.
You didn't see the Lion King live on at the Hollywood Bowl?
Oh, is that the Kanye thing?
Yeah, Kim Kardashian and Kanye, because apparently Kim paid. The rumor is that she paid the casting director to put Northwest in that role as young Simba, and they were terrible.
So Galaxy Geeks and one of our Patreon streams told me about it. I would have never known about that, and he told me about it, Luke. So whatever. I think that someone had said at one point, do you think that it's going to hurt the Mufasa box office? Like, no.
What?
No, it's not going to hurt the Mufasa box office. No, not even a little bit. But this is but yeah, it doesn't surprise me that a Kardashian would do that. It's almost like built into their MO that they would do that. But I don't. The answer is, what do I think about it? I don't care. And as far as the Mad Max, I think we talked about it.
Yeah,
it would have done better if it was a lower budget movie. Yes, as far as profit, yes. But do you care about that Northwest thing?
Only that it's just further proof that I think the Kardashians are a bunch of the most vapid, unnecessary individuals on the planet.
Yeah.
And when they have their moments to push their agendas, they'll do that. Like Kim Kardashian is now going to be on Actors for Variety. Are you kidding me? You have to actually be an actor. You have to actually be able to be
She's terrible in that show.
Talk about acting. Yeah, it's nonsense. She's a horrible actress. And so to me, she's funny on SNL, but that's a pre-scripted, all written, and you only have to be somewhat good to be good on that show. The fact that they have her be asking questions, it just shows this power and that it's frustrating. And there's a bunch of young, talented people that could have done that role at the Hollywood Bowl Live. It would have been great, but she threw her weight around, and I think that's nonsense. So.
Fair enough. Skeleton Strange New Worlds #1. Mr. Rocha, Star Trek Discovery finally ended last week. To me, the show was enjoyable as grocery store frozen pizza. It's fine in the absence of anything else. What's your overall take of the series?
Here's what my take on the series. It is absolutely, how can you say this? It's like you have an intelligent student, but they just can't seem to grasp the thing that you tried to teach them. And you read their papers and they get close, but they never quite grasp it. And I think watching Discovery has felt the same way. Strange New Worlds is so good that it makes Discovery look even worse when you look at it, how it doesn't really reflect strong Star Trek. So it's unfortunate. It wasn't the best. And I think in the end, it'll have its people who love it, but it's not going to be one of these great Star Trek shows that everyone looks back on. It's way too uneven and way too out there, I think. So yeah, that's my overall thoughts on it.
All right. Beto Power. Hey guys, just wanted to say Hail Madrid for Rocha. Cheers. God bless you.
Right here for Hail
Madrid. Okay.
Talking about Real Madrid winning the Champions League, bastards.
Sure. Pete Parker, 2288. What would be your dream Star Wars show? Old Republic? Yes, I would love to that. I would love to see, well, two things. I would love to see a mini series based on the Darth Bane novels.
Ooh.
True Garpetian. And I would love to see an adaptation for like 6 seasons off the Knights of the Old Republic game. It'd be great.
Why don't we do Cal Kestis? What's wrong with that? Why don't we just open that door? I mean, people
heard rumors that they were working on that.
Yeah,
dude, I heard that they actually work. I don't know if they still are anymore, but they were working on it.
Do that.
Yeah. Let's see. This is Artem Shakramanian. Just because Acolyte is not part of episode 1 to 9 timeline, I am on board. No Rebels, no Empire. What a novel idea. Finally, I think that's a lot of what people, but I think without giving away too much. And again, with 2 episodes in, this could change.
Sure.
I don't think that within the first 2 episodes, though, it just definitively shows this is such a different time, minus like a bunch of Jedi running around. But that's really it. Yeah. It doesn't feel like it feels like it could take place at any time period, doesn't it? So far,
yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah. Well, I didn't hear this. Did you hear this? Any truth to the rumor that the Rey movie's canceled? I have no interest in it personally. Would rather see Obi-Wan season 2 or Knights of the Republic or Mando movie. Are you hearing anything on that?
I've heard a lot of rumors over the last few weeks of the Rey movie becoming many number of things, possibly being canceled. That there's
really?
And that the Sean Levy one might take its spot, or there are rumors that they might combine them, or rumors that that the backlash from the announcement of the Rey movie and Charmaine Obaid-Chinoy and the comments she made may have led to people feeling a little bit, but it's all just stuff in the air, man, until they make an announcement. And we've seen before how some of that stuff actually leads to a truthful announcement, and some of this stuff is way overblown and is not true at all. So to me, I'm more like just waiting around. And it would suck because I love Daisy Ridley as Rey, and I will fight to the death over that. And I was excited to see her back. I thought the Horowitz interview was so great with her. And so I hope this is not true. And I hope they're just like, people just want to see this, so they start rumors. They want to see it fail, so they start rumors. So
paying her so much money, though. It's I don't know. I haven't heard that, so it's interesting. What's Jeff's take on that?
I don't know. I haven't heard. We haven't talked in a bit about the Rey movie, so I'm not sure what his most recent knowledge on it is.
There you go. There's your topic to talk about on the hot mic.
Probably.
Speaking of which, before we go on any closer.
Yeah.
Why don't you give a what's going on your channel? What's going on with the hot mic? Let us know.
Yeah, guys, please, I'd love for y'all to come over to my channel and subscribe to the channel. The Outlaw Nation there, just youtube.com/John Rocha says. Would really appreciate it. Really trying to get to 50,000 subscribers. We have great content there with the hot mic with me and Jeff Snyder every week, talking about the big sizzling issues in entertainment. The Geek Buddies and I having a lot of fun breaking down all the geek entertainment news going on. The Jedi Way, we're definitely going to have reviews. Laura Kelly, Kevin Smets, and I on the Acolyte coming up real soon, and all my reactions and reviews, and possibly the new show Spill the Tequila with Winston and Marshall. We did a dry run for a first episode a week and a half ago, which you all can watch now, and we're negotiating how we're going to make that show happen. So, there's a lot of stuff going on the channel. Would love to have you come aboard there at on YouTube, The Outlaw Nation. Just type in my name or The Outlaw Nation or youtube.com/John Rocha says. Get me to 50,000 subscribers. Come on, guys.
You can do it. There you go. All right. So what's this all about? Al Rencha, thoughts on kill switch being added to cars? What's that?
I don't know. Is that so they can't you can't carjack them? I think that's what it is.
I don't know.
You hit the switch and the car can't be moved.
Oh, I don't know enough about it. Kiki and Luca, why doesn't Disney put these shows in theaters? Could make tens of millions on them. I think it just depends on the marketing that goes behind it too. Is how much will you do? How much money will you actually make if you don't put the marketing in it? So, what I do think will eventually happen if theater chain, because I don't think theaters will ever go out of business, but I think theater chains like AMC and Regal might be in trouble. And I think studios will eventually have their own theaters and their own chains, and there'll be Disney theaters, there'll be Sony theaters, there'll be all these theaters. And then if they have their own theaters, then why wouldn't you screen your shows?
Yeah, we see that with the Al Capitan, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, now Al Capitan and Netflix has their own theaters too.
Netflix, yeah.
Darth Archie, love the show. Thank you. What's your favorite film vehicle chase? For me, it's Raiders. Congrats on the move. Thank you. Gonna miss you. I always enjoyed dumping my pee back in Europe. Okay, good. So Darth Archie was created because of my story. That's amazing. I was wondering because I was like, there's no way it's coincidental that dog, Darth Archie, freaking pissing on the bag. Archie, he's Archie. Is that food? Why would it be food? Why is Archie pissing on the food? So Raiders is a good one. I'll tell you the one that pops into mind I don't know if it's my favorite, but the Firstborn Identity car chase is pretty good.
Oh yeah, that was great.
That pops in my mind.
I just recently watched Fury Road again, so I would have to put that up there in the top 2 or 3. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Pete Parker, Rocha saying Scorsese he's too old for the Sinatra movie, but George Miller's 79, and he made the best action movie I've seen in a long time. I love you, John. Yeah, I mean, it's a good point.
And how did it do at the box office? So
come on, but the movie, you like the movie though. That's not the argument. That's not the argument though. The argument is can you said from Scorsese him being able to do it, would he be able to still get that kind of flavor behind it? You don't think he would? You still feel the same way?
Yeah, I do still feel the same way because he's too old to do the young Sinatra. I just think he's too old to do it. That's all. And DiCaprio is not the choice. No way. I just don't see that at all. So,
all right. The Dart Double 05. Mbappe suddenly signed for Real Madrid. Thoughts? Whatever that means.
That's a Kylian Mbappe, former PSG striker, signing for Real Madrid.
It's not Mbappe?
Long in the works. No, he's French. So, of course, it's different. Mbappe. Hello.
Kenneth Colton. What's up, man? June is bringing the peak. House of the Dragon season 2, The Acolyte, The Boys season 4, Mayor Kingstown season 3, The Bear season 3, plus so much others out like Dark Matter on Apple Plus. That's right, Kenneth. Damn right. That show, Dark Matter. Is that what I said before? I said Dark Matter, right?
Yeah, you said Dark Matter.
Yeah, Dark Matter. That show is phenomenal,
dude. June is, and that's not even covering the sports.
I know.
NBA Finals, Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah.
We've got the Euro Championship, and we've got the Copa America happening. So June is stacked, man, stacked with stuff. So yeah,
it is. Yeah, it's a big one. Cooley, hi, what's up, man? Happy for you, Kristian on the move. Rocha's my guy. Love the Caitlin Clark tweets, bro.
Oh, thank you.
The Bad Boys Saturday. Heard it's dope. Oh, good. I hope it is. The last one was pretty good. I mean, and I love that Michael Bay's not directing.
Yeah. And these guys may be directing the new Spider-Man 4. The rumor came out last week that they might be looking at these guys. So we'll see.
Interesting. But yeah, I'm curious to see how it comes out. Jim 1, I think the Acolyte 2, excuse me, I think the Acolyte has 2 weeks to win back the Star Wars audience. If it's not great, it could get sidelined by the boys in House of the Dragon. That's not untrue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
It's an excellent point.
And what it is that it not only it's got a lot of different things to do within that time, right? It's got to get these Star Wars releasing 2 episodes night one is a very smart move. And then to see how episode 3 is, to see, do you care enough about the story? Like I said earlier, even though I'm not like oh, the show's amazing, I think it's fine, I am interested to see where it goes. I am curious to keep watching. And that's what you got to do. Like if I only had the first 2 episodes for screeners and they're like, oh yeah, but you gotta watch 3 to see where it goes, would I tune in? Yes, I would, because I'm curious to see where it goes, regardless of my criticism. But you have to not just get that Star Wars audience back, John. You got to get new people in, especially if they're going up against all these other shows.
Yeah, I mean, this could be a Furiosa, the Fall Guy situation where like people overall who've seen it or critics liked it, but the public has little to no interest or only medium-sized interest in it. And what do you do at that point if you're Star Wars, if this show comes out and you're proud of it and you know it's good, but it doesn't catch on with the audience? I mean, what is your reaction? What do you take from that? How do you readjust your approach to these shows? So I think this Acolyte is going to be an interesting litmus test for where Star Wars is right now in terms of the TV side of things.
100%. All right. So Blake Gilbert, have you guys seen the new Viggo Mortensen's new Western movie that he wrote and directed, The Dead Don't Hunt? Did you see it?
Not yet. I'm seeing it this week.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to see it this week. Got to see a Western, for God's sake.
I feel like this guy only shows up when you're on the show. Butt funnel. Quite the spectrum between Andor and Boba Fett, hoping it's great. Yeah, I mean, look, that's what I said. I'm very curious to see what the middle thinks of this show. Dan Reynolds. No, excuse me, not even close. Don Ronaldo McWhiskey.
I love McWhiskey.
FU Books. Yeah, fair enough. That's what it comes down to. Let's see as we keep going. We got more here, and we got Jim 1. Who says, will George R.R. Martin's next book come out before Blade? Maybe so. They both get pushed back so much. Good Lord. All right.
Yeah, I hate when he comes out and has a comment about anything. Every second you spend not writing the book and commenting on something else frustrates the hell out of me. So stop it, George.
Mirror Domains. Should Skeletor be CGI or makeup for new He-Man? I think majority makeup with a little CGI to help.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's the way to go. Agreed.
Yeah. Carlton Runner. Goddamn, guys, I managed to catch up. Here's another super chat. Great to see. Thank you so much, Carlton. Great to see John looking refreshed from his holiday. Trust John had a good time. Seems like he had a good time, right?
It was a good time. It was nice to be by the pool, be out there by the beach. It was a really good time, and I needed it.
This one's for you, John. Jay West. F, Marry, Kill.
Ooh.
Deadpool, Wolverine, Blade, Beyond the Spider-Verse Part 2.
Well, I kill Blade because there's so much drama behind it.
Yeah.
I would absolutely marry Beyond the Spider-Verse Part 2 because that's consistently great. And I would absolutely F Deadpool and Wolverine because I don't know what's going to happen, especially if you get that popcorn bucket involved.
Same answer. Same answer. Great answer. Great answer. Okay. Now, Bobby Jackson. What's up, Bobby? Hey, guys, the real question is, do you trust current Lucasfilm to do a good mini series of Darth Vader series based on the Old Republic games? I don't trust Filoni on it, because I know he's not a big fan of the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic stuff. So no, I wouldn't trust him to, but I would trust them to bring in, if they brought somebody in who really got it, depending on who the showrunner is. Because remember, they brought, I mean, like if they can get somebody in the way that they got Gilroy in to do it, if they have the material, if they had the actual writing behind it, I would trust them to do, like someone to adapt Drew Karpyshyn's novels. But yeah, I would be skeptical, no doubt.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Okay, back to McWhiskey.
Hey,
how about that purple light whip? I thought it looked cool. What people don't understand about that, though, too, I saw people going, "Whoa, they're putting whips in Star Wars now." That's like from like old school, I think, like legend stuff.
Yeah.
That's an old school.
It's in the books, y'all. It's in the books,
right? It's in the books.
I know F the books, but it's in the books.
Yeah, it's. I mean, as long it wasn't something that it was just created for this.
Right.
Chris Cawson, idea for a Star Wars film: a group of Imperials trying to assassinate Palpatine, much like the Valkyrie film with Tom Cruise. Would that interest you? It's the same. It's the same answer. It depends on who's directing it, who's writing it, what's the trail like, what's the tone.
Right.
It's like, to me, this is where like the tone of Andor and Empire Strikes Back are like that's like my golden tone of Star Wars, right? the tone of Acolyte kind of falls in between of that so far in the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
It falls like under it. And as where the tone of Obi-Wan is farther down, the tone of Ahsoka is farther down. And I think Mandalorian's right there, you know, like right around hovering. So if they did something like that, it'd be great.
Yeah.
Let's see. Kingsport Cal, is everything okay with Roxy now? She was tripping on Friday. Yeah, I know, it's funny. She's full of it. Well, she showed up. She's gonna argue to death with me on this, but like she showed up on, and I've known Roxy now for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
Roxy shows up sometimes and she's like, and when she's just, hey, how's it going? And I'll go, are you doing okay? I was like, is anything wrong? She's like, no, I'm good. She was looking for some shit on
she
Thursday.
came in ready to fight.
She says no. She's like, she blames it on me. And we talked about it on the show. And we were going back and forth with us. I'm telling you, she's like, I wasn't mad at you. And then she showed up. She was absolutely wonderful on the show on Friday when she came.
Yeah, I heard she took great pictures. Yeah.
Great pictures. She came up, she gave me a big hug. She was super supportive. We hung out, but we took pictures. She was the best. She was the best. But I was just like, you're in a bad mood. She's like, no, you're projecting. It was a really funny bit. It was very old school. And I think maybe that's one of the reasons I got people commenting on it. Got other people. Maybe that's why people were tuning into that episode. I don't know.
Well, maybe she doesn't deal with breakups well, and now you're leaving to New York. And I don't mean breakups, obviously, but like,
I know what you mean. She has said as much.
Right, she has to pick the fight in order to make the clean break.
She won't agree with that part of it, but she definitely has been pretty open that she's not happy about it.
Yeah,
Donnie St. Pierre, do you think George Lucas has already been making movies for his friends like he said he would when he retired? Nah, he's sitting on a bed of cash eating spaghetti.
Don't bother me, man.
Yeah, he doesn't have to do anything. He's done enough. He's okay. Cooley High again.
Hey,
bring back Kate and Brett show. Love him. Nobody was watching it, man.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay.
Artem Shakerman. John, next time Kristian loses a bet, make him watch a soccer match.
Ooh.
I gotta see it. If I gotta watch it in person, then it's an easy bet for me because it's
LA
very
Galaxy.
exciting in person. It's very exciting.
LAFC. I'll take you.
It's exciting in person. I don't mind that. It's on TV that I'm gonna wind up just like falling asleep. Okay. Skeleton Strange New Worlds #5. Obi-Wan Kenobi and Vader have a fantastic clash at the end of Kenobi. That clash and Kenobi's apology to Anakin somewhat redeemed the series. What say you? It made Obi-Wan is the worst. It made Obi-Wan one of the worst Jedi of all time.
I wouldn't say redeem the series. I enjoyed that. I watched it. Actually, it's really funny. I watched this the other day while I was in Mexico because I just had a date. I just wanted to watch stuff that I hadn't watched in a while. I watched the 8-minute sequence in 4K. I think they have on YouTube. And it was excellent, just excellent the way it was choreographed. But I think Kristian's right. The character beats are kind of not as strong as they should have been. And here's the truth. And people don't want to say this. Everyone's so happy Hayden was back. Hayden was barely in that show. Right. And so that tells you that they don't 100% have the strongest confidence in Hayden as a performer, as an actor.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true.
That's what I think.
I don't think that's true. I thought
it was great in Ahsoka, though. That was a fucking awesome
episode. And I think they had a lot of confidence in him there. I think that I don't think it was true about the confidence there. I think it was because they were, as I said, it has nothing to do with the actress or the character alone in Reva. Okay. That character should have been nowhere near the Obi-Wan.
I see what you're saying. She took up
put her in a different show.
Yeah.
It's like because by saying she was the one who knew it was Anakin, and they gave her all these beats that it's like, why are you giving her? You're setting this poor woman up to fail.
Fair point.
In so many different ways, and they didn't even do enough with Anakin that they could have done a lot more. That whole show could have been about. Half the show could have been about young Anakin and Obi-Wan. Now he's going to potentially do a live action Clone Wars miniseries. You should have just done that in Obi-Wan, put that in the beginning. And then at the end of the show in this fight, he's got him dead to rights again. And you know that you let him, you thought you killed him off last time. You were sent there to kill him.
Right.
And you didn't. You thought you burnt him up on fire. He's dead. And then you found out he's alive again, and you got him beat again, and you walk away again. You're an idiot. Yeah. You're a full idiot. It's the same kind of Ahsoka moment with the Force thing. Have a TIE fighter come in at that moment, blows up a thing right in the middle of him. He can't reach him. Vader escapes by the skin of his teeth. Skin of his teeth. And it's one simple moment.
Yeah.
Sequel to Dumb Money, says A Soul. Because Roaring Kitty, Keith Gill just broke their silence after 3 years. And my God, the cojones on this man. 180 million on GME. I loved that Dumb Money movie.
It was such a good movie, dude.
Love that movie. I saw it on recently on TV, but it was great.
I was so mad that didn't do well. I thought Dano was really good in that.
Really good, really good. I don't know if they'll do a sequel. Who knows? I wonder how it did on streaming. Louis Araneta. I've read Heat 2 and it's good. The book starts with Hannah is after Chris, but the book also has flashbacks of young Macaulay and Hannah. Your thoughts of casting? I think didn't they already say that is Hemsworth up?
The rumor is Adam Driver and Austin Butler. That's the rumor. Yeah, I don't know.
Butler as De Niro.
No, yeah, Driver as De Niro, I think, and then Austin as the young Kilmer, which I kind of like.
That I could see, but De Niro. I mean, De Niro's like what 5'10".
Yeah,
Adam Driver's like 6'4". Yeah. What the hell's that all about? That's bad casting. Mike Rich, why is the OG trilogy tone so hard to recreate? I think because they're so set on not recreating it that's what happens. They don't. We have the original. Like this is the thing, and I mentioned earlier how much I love the ACOLYTE music.
Yeah,
this isn't an ACOLYTE problem as much as it's a Star Wars problem. They try so hard to just stay away from Star Wars music. Every James Bond movie has the James Bond theme. But the Star Wars, some of the old school Jedi theme, the Force theme, those things, let it play. You can have your own theme, but let it be familiar.
Yeah.
Kevin Kiner does it masterfully.
Oh yeah,
masterfully.
Yeah,
masterfully. The Ahsoka score was the best thing of that whole damn series, and they don't do it. So they try to stay away from it, and it's stupid. Chris Cawson, when do you think the Knights of the Republic video game remake will be released? I've stopped thinking about it. I know if it's in development right now, but I hope it comes to fruition. Me too. But love you, Kristian. Best wishes. Thank you, Chris. I just stopped thinking about it because it's just such a tease at this moment that I don't know how realistic it is that it's ever going to happen. Okay, Kenneth Colton, was your last stand up at the Comedy Store recorded and put up on Patreon? It was not. I mean, my friend recorded it for me, but I might take a couple of bits and put it up on YouTube or Patreon or whatever too. But no, it wasn't. And then next time Rocha loses a bet, make him do a 5 minute. He's already done. Rocha's done stand up.
I would happily do a 5 minutes.
Yeah,
He never asks me. Kristian never asks me.
I asked you to do it. You were in Mexico. Yeah. Nerds engaged.
We must have been drinking Jaeger that night.
Yeah, we were. See that one I can't find the videotape for some reason. Well, the times change when the movie is complete. Loving the morning shows, but maybe an earlier show so a certain other morning show doesn't cannibalize the audience. Thanks. Keep up the great work. I'm not trying to compete with anybody.
Yeah.
You cannibalize it. You come back, go watch the replay later. I can't. I mean, you got it earlier. This is earlier right now because. What I will say is that we might get it a little earlier in the future. We might, because John wakes up fairly early.
Yeah.
And I'll be on. Actually, it's funny as you say this. I'm going to answer your question. Like let me re-answer that question.
Okay.
Yes, it's going to be an earlier show because if John's up at 8.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, can you do 8 o'clock your time? That'll be like 11 my time.
Yeah.
So it will be a little earlier. Yeah,
it works out for me because I have the rest of the day to plan other videos or other content. So
yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
Bobby. Love Bobby. All cut up on Dark Matter, huh? Yes, I am. So what I'm hearing is you've pushed Shogun. Yep, off cliff for Dark Matter. Yep. No, you're not wrong. I actually just watched an episode of Shogun last night.
Oh, finally.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm like 4 episodes in.
Good.
I'm gonna miss you, but now I have an excuse to go to New York. Take care. You absolutely, Bobby. You should absolutely come out. We're doing, like I said, we're gonna do, as I mentioned earlier, Dan Merle and I are doing a show on the 21st in New York. The link is it's pinned to the top comment here. Gandalf. I like that. Kristian, how about trying out UAP Tuesday live streams after the move? I've considered it. I've considered doing a couple of live streams on the Down to Earth channel. So we'll see how that plays out. But it's we're thinking about it. Matt Bull. Star Wars was loved and treated like a religion for 40 years, so it's more like an ugly divorce. Don't think you guys will find a large middle. I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong. I just wish that there. I mean, but you know what the thing is? It's not that we won't find a large middle. The large middle is just oblivious too. There are people who love Star Wars who haven't paid attention to any of this stuff. Like people we grew up with, and we're like, oh yeah, I love the Star Wars movies. Go, hey, have you paid attention to this? No, not really. Oh, there's a new show. That's cool. You know, it's like the middle's out there. They're just not paying attention to shit.
The middle is the largest part of the Star Wars fandom. Right. I don't care what anybody says. The lovers or the haters. The middle is the largest part. Right. It's just they don't be sitting around on YouTube all the time. So you're not going to see them being represented quite in the same way.
It's the truth. I think you're both kind of making the same point there, but I think you're 100% right. The Patterson cut of Obi-Wan is much better. The reason he doesn't kill Vader is because he hears Qui-Gon say he is the chosen one. Yeah, I mean that would be a reason why. At least there was a reason behind it. Okay, 2 more left, and then we're done.
Yeah, I gotta go piss. Come on.
We're done. Chris Cossin, did you hear that George Miller said he would love to direct a Justice League film to James Gunn? I would be down for that. Look, there is nothing, no matter what the box office is, his movies are intense.
They are great.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was going to do one a few years ago, and then it never panned out. So it could be fun to see him come back.
Him doing one for Justice League, that'd be great. Who wouldn't want to do that? Artem again. Why do you think Lucasfilm keeps making scenes like Reva going after Luke? Viewers know exactly what happens. No tension, no interest. What is the point? Bad writing.
Yeah.
Bad writing. In the same way that the Benny Hill scene with Flea chasing Leia. Who's Leia? Chasing Princess Leia. And it's just bad writing. In the same way, there's all these kind of things. That's what I meant. Like getting into trying to bring in some writers from House of the Dragon, bring in some writers from like these other like really solid shows, and get them in a room.
Yeah, look at the Harry Potter series. They're bringing in writers from like Succession. Like that's strong.
Make quality television.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's like, they answer your question, why do they keep doing it? It's just bad writing. Like everything we just talked about with that Obi-Wan, they have all these great moments in this idea. That Obi-Wan show could have been so damn dark.
100% agree with you.
This is actually the last one.
Haskell.
First met Mark, Schnepp, and the crew and John in 2017 at the Collider meet and greet. I got Schnepp drunk at the bar before the comedy show where both of them did 5 minutes. That's awesome. Great.
That was great.
All right, so we did it here, guys. Thank you for joining us today. It was a great show, great stream. Thank you for everybody. As I mentioned earlier, well, let John get out of here. John, give him one more shout out where to find you, and then I'll.
Yes, please come on over to the Outlaw Nation channel, youtube.com/John Rocha Says. Come and check us out. The Hot Mic, the Geek Buddies, the Jedi Way, my reactions, my reviews, all of it living there on the channel. Maybe more stuff coming on with Winston A. Marshall as I as well. So come and subscribe there. Support me there at the Rocha Says, all on social media, and my podcasts, the Cinephiles, the Geek Buddies, and the Hot Mic out there for you all to subscribe to. And the Jedi Way will be its own podcast very soon as well. Thanks, Kristian. Great to see you. Have a great rest of the week, y'all. Take care.
Thank you, John. Make sure you check out John's channel for sure, please. And for you guys, as I mentioned, if you're here, thank you. And I also want to give a big shout out to so many people. I got messages from somebody yesterday. If you're watching this stream, I didn't answer back on the comments asked about the Amazon New York wish list. Someone got something from the wish list yesterday. And yes, it will be received in New York, and it'll be taken care of. Don't worry. We're worried that I'm not. Well, you're not there. Don't worry. It's all good. So thank you for that. I really, really, really want to see Mack Weldon and Tushy come back. If you have any interest in them, please look and try that today. I had some people come up to me at the Comedy Store and tell me that they got some stuff, and it really does help out the show tremendously. And I'm giving you guys some good stuff here. So please get them today if you can. Thanks for joining us here today. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. I want to thank John Rocha here. I want to thank you guys, and we'll see you soon. All right, everybody. A few more LA in-studio shows left, and we'll see you later. Bye.